Hi, I'm Kathy Graves Farley, and for the past 26 years, I have devoted my career to working with young adults, teaching them how to be exceptional leaders. Through my training, coaching, and mentoring, I have successfully guided over 650 young adults to become strong leaders who have positively impacted the lives of more than 350,000 students in my program. I owned an outdoor science school, mostly 5th and 6th graders, public school kids who attended my camp for a week away from home. I was able to equip and teach every walk of life if they were willing and teachable, just like you, who wanted to be a leader. According to the Gallup poll conducted, 83% of companies say developing leadership is crucial to their success, which leads to ask, why aren't we teaching leadership in schools? For everyone, imagine if your future success was guaranteed by taking one leadership class. At some point, everyone is going to need to have leadership in their lives. Why not take steps in order to secure your place in your own future? If not you, then who? And if not now, then when? Leadership is a crucial skill that can shape your future in our society. It's not about holding positions or titles, but rather it's about empowering individuals to make a difference in their communities and beyond. As a passionate advocate for leadership development, I have witnessed firsthand the transformative power of equipping young adults with necessary skills and knowledge to lead with integrity, empathy, and vision. I want to share with you a personal story. Fresh out of college, and this young man was wanting a position in leadership with my company. He had applied as a naturalist, and that would be someone who would teach on my trails. He would teach a group of 30 kids, and he would hike them to the lesson spots and be responsible for their welfare, as well as educate them on the trails in one of the different sciences that we taught. Very important job, a lot of responsibility. Well, as he tells the story, he was living with his parents at the age of 20 in the middle of nowhere on the East Coast. He never imagined that he would amount to much, and later, he shared that with me, that he was barely getting by. He saw my post for employment and jumped online to respond with a resume. Listening to him as I conducted the interview, he had a lot of experience and great enthusiasm, and he was familiar with the role of being a leader on a small scale. But he was hungry for more experience and opportunity. When he was hired, he made plans to come 3,000 miles and face many firsts. You see, he had never been away from home, out of his home state. He'd never flown on a plane. He'd never been to California. And he was quite a ways from the safety and security of what he had known. But he was ready to take that job, and he was willing to face those fears. He was driven, he was motivated, and he was willing to walk through the fear to get to California. During training, I was going through his paperwork, and I noticed that I didn't receive a copy of his college degree. Then I saw that he was short on credits and he hadn't graduated. Oh boy, I breathed in. I pulled him aside, and I thought for a moment as I explained to him that he needed the college degree to make the pay grade as a naturalist. As I told him the news, I watched his face drop and his shoulders slump. I could feel the disappointment as I stood there facing him. On the brink of tears and obviously distressed, he looked up at me. He thought he had to leave and go back home. In that moment, and in my previous conversations with him, he had what I considered raw talent. He had something inside of him that made him stand out regardless of his education. I made a decision and told him, give me 6 months and I'll get you where you need to be. I trained him to be the leader and the teacher that he wanted to be, and more. His sheer grit, the fight to learn, to grow into a new position was uncomfortable, but his desire was evident. He always had a smile on his face, and he ended up finishing that degree, teaching for me for 3 years. I later promoted him as an assistant director, and he served also as a director for a season. We recently connected over dinner, and after we relived that moment in time, he told me that he had a business of his own. He'd become an entrepreneur, and he was a consultant for a Fortune 500 company. He put a lot of reasons for his success into his ability and his drive to want to learn and to be willing to do what it took for him to be open-minded. Like him, I believe that anyone can be a leader if they're driven and have the right attitude. Leadership is a way of being. It is a mindset. It is a journey of self-awareness that allows us to discover some amazing things about ourselves that we wouldn't normally have found out otherwise. The beauty of leadership is that it is in all of us, and we just have to be willing to get in touch with it. Hall of Fame coach Vince Lombardi said, "Leaders aren't born, they are made." And they are made just like anything else, through hard work. I have personally believed that nothing worth doing is easy. Whether you were a born leader or you need to be taught, you've got some of that grit inside of you with effort, perseverance, and intention. Anything can be mastered. That's where your success comes in knowing that you've achieved something that was once unattainable in your own mind. My advice to you, just go for it. Block out the fear and step in. Thank you.